Welcome. Thank you for joining me. This week's lesson, lesson 11, is how do I manifest with mindset? Now, if you haven't, please watch lessons 9 and 10 because they are going to lay a foundation of why mindset matters and then how to grow a growth mindset in all of this work that you're doing towards growing a life of vibrant living and well-being. My name is Robin Richards, and I am your teacher and the creator here at Robin's WellNest. Here at Robin's WellNest, I focus my teaching on mindset, mindfulness, and Reiki energy healing, merging all of them together to give you everything in the world of science and the world of woo-woo combined together to activate your empowered healing in all seasons of life. Now, this week, we are really diving into mindset, just as lessons 9 and 10 did. This is so you can really have a solid foundation on mindset to use it as a tool to manifest outcomes that align to your dreams and goals. So let's really get into it. Now, as I said, those last two videos laid the foundation, but the big overarching picture is mindset does matter. And you need to grow a growth mindset in order to get the results that you want and ultimately to do the work that I'm going to dive into right now of manifesting. Now, let's just talk about manifesting for a minute because that has definitely become a high-ticket term in the last decade or so. Now, manifesting is really just creating. It's creating what it is that you dream about and that you vision. Your thoughts create reality. Your thoughts create how you perceive the world, and your perception creates your reality. You've heard the saying, is the glass half full or the glass half empty? That is an example of two people looking at the same object but perceiving it differently and therefore creating a different reality for themselves. Now, there's a lot that has gone into creating our thoughts and our perceptions, and ultimately the foundation of all of that is our mindset. Some of it is pre-programmed even within our DNA that we came into this world with certain dispositions. But the amazing thing about once you're aware of those dispositions is you can work through the lens of a growth mindset to create permanent ways of thinking that help you practice more abundance and growth in your life. Now, there are other areas rather than just how we arrived in this world. The world itself has given us some messages that have informed how we view certain things. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reality is learning is not easy, but you know what's even harder? Unlearning. It's not impossible, it's just difficult. But in the vein of a growth mindset from last week's lesson, we embrace challenge and we embrace hard work because we know that it's worth it. And we get to be in control of this beautiful life by controlling the one thing we can, which is ourselves. Now, the manifesting basics are that like attracts like. So if you are in a low vibe kind of framework, you're going to attract more low vibe kinds of things in your life. And so when you are in a higher vibration and you are believing that you can achieve whatever it is in your life and you are focusing on improving skills through practice and looking at failure as an opportunity, you are going to attract more things that are of that vibration that are going to then lead to ultimately what it is that you're seeking in your life. Now, in order to do all of this work, you're going to have to work pretty consistently on being aware of what's really going on with that mindset. So the one piece about growth mindset that's going to really come into play here is that this is about continual improvement. I have been working on mindset for almost 2 decades. In practice, it started for me as a teacher in the math classroom and has evolved within my personal life and then professionally all the way from Weight Watchers rooms to now serving you through Robin's WellNest. know that everything that I teach is because I work on it and have to practice it myself. Practice makes permanent. It doesn't make perfect. And so continuing to practice to make it more and more accessible for you is an absolute key as you are working to manifest the life that you dream of. Now, as you're looking at growing your growth mindset, which I covered in last week's lesson, but I'm going to go even more deeply into today. You have to have a foundation of mindfulness as a practice in order to become aware of what is happening in here. Once you become aware of what's happening in your mindset, you then can take the captain's chair and decide what you're going to focus on to grow. Now, there's going to be two primary things that come up in here. One is your inner critic, and it's very uncomfortable when you first become aware of that inner critic. Now, that inner critic is going to say things that are just not true, but perhaps they've been pre-programmed from childhood, or you've had something that you've just continued to feed in there. And maybe it was subconsciously, perhaps it was consciously. Regardless of how it was, you have the gift of being able to shift out of that old mindset. That mindset, that inner critic that pops in, served you at one time, but that inner critic no longer serves you, and you get to let that inner critic go. Now, when you look at the inner critic and say, there you are. Thank you, but no thank you. You don't serve me any longer. You are allowing release through a flowing energy. When you resist something by saying, oh, the inner critic, here it is, and I don't like you, and you can't be here, and I can't believe I'm thinking that, and go away, go away, go away. What you resist persists. So release the inner critic with an energy of gratitude. It once served you, but it no longer does, so goodbye and good riddance. Once you do that, it creates space. And in that space, you can grow your growth mindset. Now, growth mindset really should be called an abundance mindset because it's building you up. It's continuing to build things instead of looking at things from a fixed place or a place of lack or scarcity. And again, the basics of manifesting is that like attracts like. It's the law of attraction. So when you are focusing on abundance and the things that are growing, and that doesn't mean that there aren't things that will be setbacks. There will be setbacks. There will be challenges. But in a growth mindset, we're ready to embrace those setbacks and we're ready to embrace those challenges. And that way we can continue to grow. And that growth promotes growth, and all of the sudden, all of these things are growing. And it maybe isn't all of the sudden until you look backwards, but it grows to manifest what it is that you are seeking to create. Now, as you're doing all of that and you've dismissed your inner critic, creating that space, you're growing your growth mindset through something I like to call your inner coach. Now, if you need to name your inner coach, Coach Robin, well, here I am. I exist for you in wellness workshops, which I am continuously running. So please feel free to email me at robinswellnest@gmail.com to know about my current course offering. Or you can just sit back and train your brain to be that little Coach Robin that's coaching you along the way as you're watching these weekly lessons, as you are engaging in my social media content, to have those little reminders for you of how you're growing your own inner coach. Because what you're doing is you're developing yourself personally so that you can be empowered in your healing and wellness. And that is all that I wish for every individual on this planet. Because can you imagine what this planet would be like if every person was in touch with themselves and was able to coach themselves to grow a life of abundance and prosperity? It would be a beautiful life. And it is a beautiful life. And that's what we're growing here at Robin's WellNest and what you're growing within yourself. And know that there are many of us around the world growing the same thing, and that is beautiful. Now, as you're growing your inner coach, here are some tips for you. You may want to examine some affirmations. So one of them that I really like to visit and I love to do in the mirror is every day and in every way I am getting better and better. And even in my depths of despair, that was a affirmation that I would say. And though in that moment, it wasn't exactly what I was feeling, it brought me slowly raising my vibration to the teacher and healer that sits before you today. Now, other areas are doing what you're doing right now, which is developing yourself personally by either tuning into the material that I present for you, but there are so many great teachers out there. Please look at whatever is, guiding your light and develop yourself, learn. Another way is by guided meditations. That's a powerful tool to help you retrain your brain and lead into the mindset that manifests exactly what it is that you're desiring. Other ways are getting involved in support groups and bringing in support like me as a coach or as a teacher. Whatever it is that you're doing, from vision boarding to there's a technique called future journaling, perhaps it is that guided meditation that I spoke about, even groups like support groups with masterminds, whatever it is that you're doing, just continue to work on doing it, because a growth mindset means continuous improvement. And when you continue to work on all of these things and surround yourself with people who are doing the same, you are going to raise your vibration, bringing the power of manifestation to life. Like attracts like, and suddenly, by becoming aware of your mindset, growing that growth mindset, you have now manifested the life of your dreams. And I am here to cheer you on every step of the way and give you the tools that you need to help support your journey. So with that, I've created a free resource for you called the Success Blueprint, where I give you 3 research-based steps aligning your life to manifest your vision. And this process is going to give you the results that you want without getting stuck in overwhelm, perfectionism, and comparison like I did, so that you can live in alignment with your truest self to achieve your dreams. You can get that resource down below in the show notes. And while you're there, please like and subscribe to this channel. You also can get it at robinswellness.com/the Success Blueprint. Now, as I leave you this week, I just need you to know, as you need to know every single moment of every day, you are enough just as you are. So continue to improve, but know that you are enough just as you are. You are powerful beyond measure. And I love you. Namaste.